all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BV Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bvmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bvmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Footballsportsapp.com. What is it? It's the first live-action mobile sports app played in real time and a cool way to immerse yourself in the game. Make coaching calls just like the pros. Check out the video. Download for free this fall and register now again at footballsportsapp.com. Want to be part of this new exciting technology and make money? Fill out the short form at the bottom of the website and mention TDSS. Again, footballsportsapp.com. Yes, sir. Hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. A couple of close games in college football this weekend. I don't know what's going on, man. Over the last couple of weeks, the teams that have been, for the most part, very dominant on the year have kind of struggled a little bit. Appreciate that, Waterhead. Cut that off. 2 games in particular. Friday night, Louisville and Duke. Man, Duke gave Louisville all that it could handle, and a 24-14 win, though, ultimately for Louisville, number 7 team in the country. And also on Saturday, you had North Carolina State that, had Clemson on the ropes in Death Valley, who North Carolina State was 4-1 at that point anyway, and had been playing good football, but real close, too close for comfort call for the Clemson Tigers this past weekend. Also, you can throw into that mix as well. Ohio State had to come from behind to beat Wisconsin 30-23. So a couple of nail biters as far as the polls and the outcomes of the polls from this past weekend in college football. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. So this weekend, my daughter had a little cheerleading things she had to do, a cheer competition Saturday morning, and Saturday afternoon, a Little League football team had a game at late in the afternoon. And I've said this before, and I had this conversation, I believe, on the Doug Stewart Show very early on the show. Something that happened. This is about 2 years now. We've been doing this show for over 2 years, where I went to a Little League football game. Once again, my daughters have been coaching for a long time. And I watched some little kids just get the living hell beat out of them. and it hit me, man, that not every kid is made and designed to play football, man. This past weekend, my daughter's Little League team, I'm not going to say the names because I don't want to, put these little kids on blast. And this is like they're in the 7th grade. They're 11, 12-year-olds, I believe. This past weekend, my daughter's team was beating the team they were playing, I think 39-0 halfway through the second quarter. Right. And I looked at these little kids, man, and some of these kids were just disinterested. They weren't even trying to, tackle. They weren't even paying attention. And these kids are kind of like they're middle school, so it's not like 7, 8-year-old kids. And I just look at these kids, man, and I'm like, not everybody should play football. Football is not for everybody. If your kid is good in math and science or something like that, push your kid towards something like that. Send them to a math or science, like educational camp over the summer or something like that. Don't put your kid out there to butt heads with other little aggressive, nasty little, rotten little kids. Don't do that. Football is not for everybody, man, and there's nothing wrong with that. Your kid might not be Lawrence Taylor. Your kid might not be Troy Aikman or Ezekiel Elliott or something like that, but he might be a scientist. He might be a teacher. Nurture that. Don't send your kid out there to embarrass himself and you. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Absolutely horrible, man. And somebody said, Chico the Alpha says it in the chat room, Jesus, what a waste of a Saturday. Laugh out loud. You know what, man? I'm happy to go out there and support my daughter, man, but you're right. I mentioned this last week, man. My Saturdays have been, in effect, ruined in the fall for the last, my daughter's about to turn 20. She started cheering when she was 6, so the last 14 years, have just been not ruined, but a lot of time has been taken up with this Little League football stuff. And I shouldn't sound like that because my parents came to all my Little League sporting events as well, games and whatnot as well. And that's what we do as parents, man. So thank you, Father. They could be doing something different. But if you listen to this show, man, this is and finish here. If you listen to this show, man, and you know good and well your kid is sorry, all right, and you don't have to even say it out loud. Just in your mind, you're saying to yourself, "Yeah, my kid is sorry." Don't make your kid go out there and play football, man. Just don't do it. He might be good in track, or if you want him to play sports, he might be good in basketball. He might be good in something else like that. Maybe he's good in soccer. They make a lot of money in soccer. The top players in the world make a lot of money in soccer. Direct your kid towards that. Do not direct your kid out there. My brother and all of his former teammates that played in the league and played with him at Georgia Tech, all to a man. We played golf. I told you I played golf not this past weekend, but last weekend with my brother and one of his teammates, the great Mike D. If y'all remember Mike D, safety for Georgia Tech in the early 90s. And, something came up, and Mike D said the same thing. I asked him, how old is your son? And he's like, my son so-and-so age. And I said something about football. He's like, no, my son ain't playing football. Like, they are adamant about their kids not playing football. Like, they're steering them towards other little sports and whatever, but they don't want their sons going out there and putting their head through all of that trauma, whatever, man, and they have options, If your son is sorry and your son is unathletic and every time you turn around, he's chasing a kid down the field with his damn knee pads touching his ankles, just find your son a different activity. Yeah. From Rough Buff in the chat room, as a dad, the hardest part of watching Little League is when you have daughters cheerleading and no sons playing football. That's tough, too. But I take pride in the fact that my daughters are the best cheerleaders out there. My daughter's got the most spirit. At least this one does. My other daughter, Kayla, she cheered all throughout high school, all 4 years in high school, but she didn't have the spirit that the baby girl got. My baby girl got real spirit. That's why I call her the LOP, the life of the party, as well as the leader of the pack. She got real spirit. I tell her every day after the games, the reason that we won today, by the way, the team is undefeated this year. Shouts out to the McEachin Indians. I said, baby, the reason they won was because of you and your spirit. From Odell, Doug, telling parents if your kids suck, they should just be banned or Glee Club. There's nothing wrong with the band. I didn't put the band in a disparaging light or anything like that. The band serves a very important, part of the game day atmosphere. They don't have bands for the Little League football kids, so that's why I didn't bring up the band. I love the band. But yeah, maybe your kid should get in one of them Glee clubs. I'm just being honest. And listen, this is nothing. We're not trying to put your kid on the spot. I'm saying this to you. If you're thinking about what I'm saying right now, when you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and you're having a mental conversation with yourself and thinking about your kid when you watch him every Saturday. And in your mind, if you're saying to yourself, yeah, my kid always is chasing. Or if you say to yourself, yeah, my kid does get hurt every other quarter. Or if you say to yourself, my kid has a couple of times ran the wrong way with the football. Then act accordingly. That's all I'm saying. From Jay Clyde in the chat room on Spreaker.com, we got to get to this Odell Beckham Jr. thing. I also want to run through some more scores on this Man Talk Monday. We give out Ballas and Bustas. We still got to give away the Back to Life, Back to Reality Award. My man Jay Clyde says there will be a lack of talent in the NFL in 20 years due to P-word kids. Nothing to do with brain damage. I agree with that. Well, I think it's a couple of fold, threefold. One, the kids today are just, not as tough as we were back in the day because I think kids today just on their phones all the time. As opposed to being outside and playing in the backyard, these kids today are on their iPhones 24/7. I know my daughters are, and every time I see them, I try to stop them. Why don't you get off that phone and read a book? I'm always screaming that. They hate to see me coming around at my house because they know I'm going to say, get off the damn phone and get in a book. Do something, learn something. Do something, do an activity, ride your bike. My kids don't ride their damn bikes. They got bikes in the garage that got 3 inches of dust on them. So, one, kids don't play outside anymore. They don't get that physical activity. Two, the parents of great athletes are really, and this is no lie, they're steering their kids to other sports because of this whole CTE scare thing that we're going through over the last couple of years and these lawsuits and all of that. I just told you about my brother and his teammate from college. They do not want their sons, my nephews, to play football. And they might, when they get older and they realize, the kids realize that the sports are great or whatever and the girls like football players, they might play. But my brother and his friends, and not just them, but a lot of people I know are trying to steer their kids towards something else because of all this controversy about head trauma. My brother was one of the first people that were part of the lawsuit against the NFL. I believe he was actually with the first group ever that sued the NFL. So, it's very serious, and it hits home, man. It hits home. And then these, just in general, man, kids today they're just different. They're just different, man. They got more options. It's just different. So I agree with you, Jay Clyde. It's going to be a much different kind of game in the NFL in 20 years. Not only that, the game is going to be different because the NFL is changing all of these rules, trying to make it safer, which I get that. But at the same time, you're kind of like watering it down. So, I don't know. It's a lot of things that go into the conversation about, how the game is changing. And I absolutely love the game. I've said that over and over and over again. But it's definitely changing. And the attitudes toward the football, toward the game, are changing as well. Like, I watch some of these damn kids. Some of these kids are just sorry as hell. I'm sorry. I am sorry. And I swear to you, when I was a kid, we weren't this sorry. Now, my wife said something to me the other day. Y'all were probably that sorry when y'all were kids. Oh, the hell we were? No, we weren't. No, we weren't. Some of these kids got no clue. At that age that I'm talking about, 11, 12, some of these kids got no clue. They just don't. I'm sorry. Entertainment coming up next. I'm sorry. I had to say it. I'm sorry.
The Sleeper Pick. The guy only you believe in. In 1 week fantasy football on DraftKings, he can be the difference. So trust your gut. Trust your numbers. Trust your Uncle Vito if you want. But know this.